will see, on beginning to read this letter, that it is not addressed to you by name.
But I address it to a woman, a very young woman still, who was born to be happy and has lived miserably.
See us in the dirt.
But imagine the person you'll be if you grow old in this way of life.
See us on the street.
Then imagine the way that you'll die if you do nothing to change your course.
See us in ourselves. Repeat, repeat.
Think now of that moment. And consider the letter that is placed in your hand.
See us in the dirt. See us on the street, your street. See us in ourselves. Repeat, repeat.
Do you want a different future? Do you want a second chance? Do you want a way to rise, to escape and to advance?
I'm aware that you've been hunted, how you've run from the police, how you move from jail to jail, year on year, and cannot cease.
Do you want a way to leave this, to test untested ground?
I'm offering you a chance to turn your life around.
Everything you lost can be found once again. Everything you lost when you fell way back then. The walls around this cell don't have to be the end. Believe me when I say that I am your friend.
Did you hear what the governor's offering? He's going cell to cell, wants to speak to the young ones.
He does he? He should be so lucky.
Nah, he's reading from a piece of paper. Someone is trying to save us.
Well, if it's the nuns again, tell the girls to run a mile.
Nah, someone different. They're offering to boat them away, out of England.
What, like convicts?
Do you want a different future? That's the thing they say they'll give, because they're asking us to change how we think, how we live.
Now they're speaking of some refuge, till they ship us off to sea. Seems they're cleaning up the streets, seems they call it charity.
Everything we lost can be found, so they say. Everything we lost, that's if we go away. As if we would agree, as if we play pretend, as if we're so naive. We believe this, friend.
This project's being run by the novelist Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens? Charles Dickens, like the writer?
Well, I don't know who this Charles is, but I reckon it's someone with a...
Dickens sent you another letter this morning. I think he still wants you to go to the prison to meet them. Angela.
Put in the bill.
I see them on
Who
the
has
street.
seen you pass at night?
see
She
them
looks
every
down from
night.
her window, her heart bleeds at the
I
sight.
look down from my window, what can I do?
She has opened up her home.
Was this home just a crazy, foolish, expensive idea? Am I only chasing fog? Am I mad to interfere? What if it doesn't work?
Oh, Angie.
I'm asking honestly. There are builders at the cottage as we speak. There are linens on the beds, and yet so far not one girl has come forwards. What if nobody says,
Yes!
What was that?
Yes! I'll do it. If I want a different future, tell me who I have to be. If I cut away my ties, maybe that will set me free. If I want a different future, tell me who I have to be.
Tell me who I have to be.
If I cut away my ties, maybe that will set me free.
See us in the dirt.
Everything you lost can be found once again.
Tell me who I have to be.
Everything you lost with them way back then. The walls around this cell don't have to be the end.
I first ones arrive today.
Already? I thought that wasn't happening for another week.
I spent all night listening to the crying outside. Did you hear that poor girl? She must have been on the steps, but now, of course, there's no sign of her. Only hats and carriages.
Well, that's London for you.
When I think about the girls that Charles Dickens has found, all I can think is that it could be them on those steps if we get this wrong. Or maybe they've been there already and I never knew.
The whole world isn't your fault, Angela.
At least if we move them into the home as soon as they are released from prison, then they won't have a chance to
fall back to their old ways.
What choice would they have? Dickens wrote to me this morning to detail the plan. Take a look for yourself.
My dear Miss Coutts, I have arranged for a coach to take our first girl, Julia Mosley, to the home this afternoon.
It is hard to say whether she'll last the year, but who knows?
By 1849, Julia could be starting life as a parlour maid in South Australia.
As it is, you would do well to come down to Shepherd's Bush and meet her yourself.
Are you going to meet them?
Once they've settled in, of course.
Oh, does anyone else know the home was your idea?
You know. Dickens knows.
Oh, and do you really want him to take all the credit?
The credit for what? Spending a small fortune on a project that could be a catastrophe or in-depth research into practical materials for women's clothing. What I want is to give these girls a chance.
Julia, Mr. Dickens said you would arrive at
2:30 p.m. to be precise.
He's always punctual himself, so I suppose we shouldn't be surprised.
Lovely day, isn't it? To
Leave prison.
After 6 months for stealing a handkerchief.
I trust that our matrons will be welcoming in helping her to settle.
Let's take a look around the house, shall we? You can call me Mrs. Mawson, and this is Mrs. Fisher.
Cold in the streets, can't feel my fingers. Fog that's so black, I could disappear. Locked in a cell, no space for breathing. How did I end up in here? What is this house? So clean and so quiet. It's so proper and neat. Does that mean it won't bite? The sun likes this house. See there in the corner, a plant in a vase. It's drinking the light. No rooms filled with shadows, nothing waits out of sight. I think I can breathe. Nothing lurks, nothing waits in the night. What's that?
That's our bird.
his name is Hamlet.
But why is it in a cage?
A bird like that could hardly survive outside, could it? I have laid in all the dresses and linen for the whole house.
Purchasing them at wholesale prices.
I have made them as cheerful in appearance as they reasonably could be.
This one here is your room. You'll be sharing it with 2 of the other girls. The dress is yours, but you'll have to make some more yourself. Julia?
Only 2 others?
Well, of course. In this room there are 3 beds, aren't there? Is everything all right?
It's yellow. The dress is yellow.
We'll give you a few moments to get changed.
What is this house? Does it already know me? Can it see through my skin? Does that mean I can't hide? And here in this house, can I be someone different? Well, that's what they swore, unless they all lied. Can dresses transform you that I cannot decide? Still, I'll try to change, try to hope that the old me has died. Can I leave behind the things I've done? Can the things I've done be left behind? Can I leave the lies and the dirt and the mess and the red and the wet on my hands, on my dress, in my head, in my head, in my head, in my head?
You filthy, ungrateful harlot! You drain us of our food, our charity. You expect me to keep you safe because I am your sister. Well, you don't belong here, Jimmy! You belong in a prison!
Can't see the streets, no need for begging. Can't see the fog, have I disappeared? Locked out of sight, far from my sister.
By the end of the day, there will be 4. Next after Julia is Martha Goldsmith.
You must be Martha.
I'm afraid yes. Sorry about that.
Dickens interviewed each of the girls before they arrived. Martha has just come out of a Magdalen asylum.
The one for working girls.
12 months of enforced laundry work. And then when their time is up, they are discharged back to where they came from.
What's the point of that?
Quite. Then there's Isabella Gordon. Her story is rather typical, I'm afraid. Isabella was caught loitering for the purposes of, well, you know.
And the 4th girl.
Rosina Gale. Her parents are dead. And after her needlework fell through, she tried to take shelter at an old friend's. After being refused, she stole a Bible and tried to sell it. Of course, she was caught and sentenced to 3 months imprisonment.
3 months? Well, that's half of Julia's sentence, isn't it, for stealing a handkerchief?
There are more girls arriving next week and the week after.
No going back, then.
It's far too late for that.
What is this house? Does it light new beginnings? Can it learn to forgive? Can it try to forget? Now I'm in this house. Is there some sort of future? Can I dare to hope this is not over yet?
New today as well? What's your story?
What makes you think I've got a story?
Why else would Charles Dickens want you here? Go on, tell.
Isabella, please. There'll be no speaking of anyone's past in here. Mr. Dickens has instructed it.
That their past lives should never be referred to. There can be no doubt.
Of breaking old habits and associations.
Punctuality, cleanliness.
And to render them an innocently cheerful family while they live together
That
there.
never be referred
Any such
to.
reference
Would be an instance of blind mistake.
5 more letters and then we'll stop for lunch.
That leaves only 26 more before the next batch of post.
Oh, I wish you had not told me that.
Sorry. Please forget it. I will leave you in ignorance from now on.
Somewhere there should be a letter from the Duke of Wellington. Or perhaps I should write to him this afternoon. Write to the Duke.
Angela, I taught you better than that.
Well, you aren't my governess anymore. And besides, if I'm old enough to be a spinster, I'm old enough to do what I like with my ink.
Oh, a woman with your means is never a spinster. You're an heiress.
Speaking of my prospects, how long has that gentleman been waiting downstairs?
Oh, 20 minutes? Oh, I should probably bring him up, shouldn't I?
Sadly, yes.
Oh, Mr. Spooner is here to see you.
Spooner.
Mr. Spooner, at your service. Ah, correspondence. Very good. You must have a lot of friends.
Oh, most of those are from strangers, I'm afraid.
Ah, of course. Strangers after your money. Have you thought about funding local art? Your collection is very impressive.
It came with the house when I inherited. Actually, my preference is for scientific or social projects, things that can make a lasting change.
But how curious, but I suppose a woman of your means can follow whatever whimsical desire you choose. Would you like to attend Sir Harry's ball with me next Tuesday?
Oh, thank you. No.
Of course not. Perhaps you would prefer a lasting change. Miss Burdett-Coutts, I know we do not know each other much, but I feel that we have sufficient connection to...
Hello, sorry to interrupt.
We're a little late for an appointment, I'm afraid, aren't we?
You're right, very late. I am so sorry to be rude.
Not at all. Miss Burdett-Coutts, it was a pleasure. You're not at all like any of the other ladies, are you?
One more letter?
One more letter.
My dear Miss Coutts. My dear Miss Coutts.
We have already had some rehearsals of the routine of the state life.
Upon to observe.
There is an important break in
Order,
habit.
punctuality,
We
cleanliness.
have already had some rehearsals of the routine of the
cooking.
state life.
Order,
Order,
punctuality,
cleanliness.
The establishment itself should supply the means of teaching.
The establishment itself
The means of
supply the
teaching.
means of teaching practically.
The means of teaching.
The whole routine of household duties.
To everyone.
Your dress is very brave.
What do you mean?
The buttons, they'll lock you in the cellar for that.
Oh, they won't. Stop it.
Isabella, hi. Martha, your buttons, won't they lock you in the cellar for that?
They won't. Are you spreading this?
Wait, spreading? I don't want to catch nothing.
Rubina, have you met Julia? She shares a room with Martha and Rosina.
Better you than me. They're riddled, they are.
Good morning, girls. And to those of you who arrived today, welcome to Urania Cottage. As you know, you are here to leave your past behind and begin a process of repentance and reform. We expect you to be with us roughly a year, and then you will emigrate to another part of the world. Of course, before we can send you abroad, it is up to each of you to prove that you have changed. Whilst you are here, you will follow a strict timetable, and I promise it will do a world of good. Now remember, your return to happiness is in your hands. A house should run like clockwork, but the cogs should not be seen. Here you'll learn to do your duty.
You'll learn to cook and clean.
Each day's routine is scheduled from 6 o'clock till 10. So you'll mend and sew and learn to write, learn to say your prayers and be polite.
Sorry, missus.
Sorry about what, Rosina?
What time is it now?
Add clock reading to the lesson plan.
Each day inside the workhouse, they would grind you to the bone.
I be jealous of the maggots.
I'm jealous of the stone. But on the streets of London, the days bleed into one.
Through the suits and mud and blood and grime, you convince yourself your life's no crime. Every inch of this house will be in your hands, so we leave it in your care. You will use every hour in this house of ours. We'll have no time to spare.
I won't despair.
Remember our instructions and follow our commands.
I never like commands.
That your return to happiness is in your hands.
Mr. Stanley, our chaplain. Oh, and Mr. Wilkins, our gardener.
Morning, ladies.
I'd lady him any day. Girls!
You're staining the brush? Hey, you!
Julia, your hands are bleeding.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Hey, it's all right. You've been picking oakum, haven't you? In a workplace? Prison?
Buckingham Palace.
Oh, I do like the scones at Windsor myself. Come on then.
If a new sort of star can be in our hands, it don't matter if they bleed. sweat will do the deed. Remember their instructions and take us to new lands. Now our return to happiness is in our hands. Give me light from the day, let light decay. Steadfast is your strength, gentle to the weak. Meeker I've grown, but I only live to serve. All for your love I do not deserve.
I just can't stand it. Everyone watching and whispering, judging how I've done my hair. Well, what do you think? Should I wear the brooch or the emeralds?
They're both a bit much for just a dinner, aren't they? Oh, for you.
Well, I haven't seen the Duke since he returned to London, and I think he's quite fond of emeralds.
I see. In that case, emeralds it is. How fond is he exactly of emeralds?
I mean, I find him impossible to read, but I think that's one of my favorite things about him, and I do want to see him.
But?
Well, he never approved of this project with the home. I'm sure I mentioned it to him back in the spring, but I'm not entirely certain he knows it's begun.
Oh, he's a dinosaur.
Hannah, the Duke is one of the most accomplished, intelligent, and kind men I have ever met, and I will not hear you insult him like that, not ever. Aside from that, he knows that my investments are my choice. He knows I can finish getting ready on my own. 1,800,000 bequeathed in a grandmother's will. All at once I'm surrounded by gossip and bulls as the suitors arrive and line up in the halls. And the country is watching, but suddenly I'm standing still. Sudden fortune, but what can I do? Sudden fortune, but what can I do? The letters arrive by the stackful, the numbers increase every year, and I read every word of their hunger and grief as I sit here in rooms lined with silk and gold leaf. And I write my replies in the light of a glass chandelier. With my fortune, what am I to do? With my fortune, what am I to do?
Light from the day, let light decay. Steadfast is your strength, gentle to the weak.
I invest in building railways, I converse with the Queen. I fund research in geology, in magnetic technology, electrolysis, archaeology, in a calculating machine.
But I only live to
When you invest in building railways, you know where they will lead. When it's scientific research, then the facts are guaranteed. When you take a girl off the streets, you have no idea if she'll succeed.
Oh, for your love I do not deserve.
Most people know how to ignore them. They bury their guilt in the sand. But I can't help but see them each night in the dark. See them begging for nightmares from inside Green Park. I know I have to guide them, though most people won't understand. Fate or fortune, what else can I do? Fate or fortune,
sorry, I don't have anything to give you.
I'm not asking for money. It is awful nice in here, isn't it?
Please, we're very busy.
I heard you're taking in women. The sweep saw them going in.
I'm sorry, this isn't that kind of establishment.
You don't understand. I want to join. I'll work hard. I'll do whatever you ask.
We can't help you. Please leave.
Tell me what I have to do.
You're too old.
I'm going on 27. Could be 28.
Maybe if we write to Mr. Dickens.
There's nothing here for you.
Cold in the streets, can't feel my fingers. Fog that's so black, I could disappear.
Sun is shining. You're not supposed to do that. You're late. Mrs. Fisher said not to worry about time telling till I get the hang of clocks. Don't eat the kitchen. Don't eat the kitchen. Don't eat the kitchen duty. Never do what I do.
Well, then I don't have to listen to what you say.
We're supposed to be making rolls, aren't we? And something with mutton.
It's mutton.
Where's Martha?
Her snoring is so loud. I keep waking up thinking it's my dad's dog Bullseye. And one time Bullseye ate this lady's scarf because he thought he was a weasel.
It should have marked what we're making in this book.
Oh, I see.
Hang on, let me.
Give it back.
No,
give it back to me.
No.
What are you fighting over?
It's the recipe for the bread.
All right. Is there something wrong with it?
Well, Rosina can't read, and I can read. I just don't understand it.
Can I see? Dissolve yeast in water, melt butter with the milk, sift the flour into the pan. It's a good thing I'm here. Because they're trying to poison us.
No.
That's a joke. I do those sometimes. Looks like bread to me.
You can bake.
What? I can't be good at cooking and whoring at the same time?
You're not supposed to
Oh,
talk about...
come on, like you didn't know.
Can we just...
Fine. There's a simple art to baking. You mix up some sludge to make something new, and it's more or less true of cooking too. You boil up some lumps and you get a stew.
So this lump of meat, what do we do with it?
Just cut off the sinew, like so, then continue. Yes, once you begin, you will pick up a skill
like this.
No, it's not a weapon. Or this. Julia's a murderer.
I'm not.
Better leave the kitchen, she's looking to kill. Let's try to be good, do what we can, work hard and not stick to the plan.
Try to be good, follow the book, learn how to read,
And learn how to cook. But I'm not so good with orders. I'll say that to you, but not to the priest.
Now I've started the rolls and the pan is greased, but which one's the flour and which one's the yeast? I think this is hopeless. Don't think I could cope less.
Here, pass me the soap. Let's not taste my bread with blood. No, it's only beetroot.
What's that?
I don't really know.
It's weird.
Never mind the beetroot, just stick to the bread.
I try to be good, try to belong, try to be nice, it always goes wrong.
Try to be good, what does that mean?
Do what we're told, ignore what we've been. I never know what I'm doing. This girl in this apron, who is she?
I always feel lost.
You're telling me
I don't understand this.
I think we agree.
I'm not so good with orders.
With the
It's such as
orders I've had, this feels like a nightmare and like a dream. But maybe in here we could work as a team. We'll try to be good, show what we're worth, and prove that we're not the scum of the earth. What is this? How did you
and we just got carried away by all the yeast.
Julia, there is a visitor here to see you. It's your sister.
When you say here, do you mean...
I told her to wait until 12:30 so you could finish your chores. She's in the next room.
Are you all right?
You do have a sister, don't you?
Yeah, I thought she'd be busy with the children, that's all. Hey, what are you doing?
Who are you talking to?
I'll see her. My sister, I mean. I'll see her.
Mrs. Gardner was just telling me how much she's looking forward to catching up with you.
Oh, please call me Georgina. Sister, it's been too long.
Please do take a seat.
Oh, such a pretty house.
Mr. Dickens and Miss Coutts have been very generous.
Oh, that's very kind of them.
Oh, would you like... Here we are. These biscuits were made by our own girls just this morning. Now, we usually encourage abstinence from tea and sugar as part of their education, but I think we can make an exception.
Education?
Oh, did Julia not tell you before she came?
We give all the girls thorough training in respectable skills. Housework, cleaning, cooking.
Oh, well, that does sound wonderful.
Exactly.
We have been very impressed by Julia and her devotion and commitment.
Oh, well, that is good news. And these biscuits, you made them.
You must have plenty of catching up to do. Just call if you need anything.
Biscuits. You've been here 2 months making biscuits.
I didn't...
Did you really think I wouldn't find you?
I had fun pretending.
Did they not teach you to respect your elders? Did you really think I'd leave you to the streets once your sentence was up? Maybe I should have, but I don't abandon my family.
I'm going to another country, starting a new life. These people here, they think I'm good enough.
You, good enough. I saved you from the streets, from the whores who live with rats and live with fleas and sleep on deathbeds of disease. And I saved you from the law. When you failed to earn your keep, I kept you fed. I clothed you like our mother said. That's what family is for. We're the ties you cannot break no matter what, although it seems that you forgot. Now my husband's at death's door, far too sick to smith a blade or carve a plaque. So now's your turn to pay us back. You trust your own, your blood and bone, your blood and bone. Stick to your own.
I don't understand. What do you want me to do?
That I would find you sipping tea from China at home between the silver trinkets that lace those linens. Don't you think it's a waste? I bet if something small was lost, they'd hardly notice. It won't take much to do the deed. It would be too easy. They don't need it in here.
I can't take something from this place. If they catch me, they'll turn me in.
You'd leave your nieces and nephews to starve, all because you're scared of one more sentence for petty theft. But with the sins you've committed, you shouldn't be allowed to walk free in the streets in the first place. Or have you forgotten?
See us on the streets.
There are Westons in the streets. One wrong move and you'll be gone and lost for good. I'm only saying that I could. I could tell them what you've done. You'll be locked up your whole life, but if you do this, then your secret's safe with me.
No! I'm not going to risk everything I've been working for!
Yeah! Trust down! Yeah! Let that go! Yeah! Let that go! Protect! Your
Admiring the clock?
No! Just dusting it.
Trying to get in their good books, are you?
That's exactly what we're meant to do. You get that right?
What could you sell it for? The clock, I mean.
Haven't thought about it.
Do you think that's silver on there?
I don't think I know what real silver looks like.
Funny, isn't it? The amount of things round here. What about the teapot downstairs?
It's too big.
So you have thought
No,
about it?
no.
Better the butter dish, the match case. If we were someone else, of course. You know, we won't all get to go.
What do you mean?
To Australia. Why do you think they're marking us?
Marking us?
Hey, Cecina, why the points?
Playing judge, aren't they? Playing at gambling. Betting on us like we're nags.
But what points?
We heard Mrs. Mawson talking. It's like a new system. They'll tell us about it soon.
Just another one of Charles Dickens' big ideas.
He sent you a mark table.
It appears so. The mark tables, I believe, are perfectly clear and simple as I have sketched them. You see, he wanted to introduce a scheme like this from the very beginning. I told him I wasn't so sure. You see, it's based on a system run on an island of convicts.
I have limited the ways in which the marks are won.
So that they may be rendered plainer to the comprehension of the young ladies themselves.
A bit patronising.
Well, the idea now is that the marks will become wages when the girls emigrate. I can see the benefit.
You don't think it will make them too competitive? Maybe we should go down to the home to see how they get on.
I've told you I don't want to interfere.
Angela, who do you think will pay for the wages?
It's not about me. And besides, the Duke has invited me to tea this afternoon. Maybe another time.
Every instance of ill-temper, disrespect, bad language, or any outbreak of any kind, a certain number of marks is deducted.
Preparation for the right performance of duty
outside.
outside.
Before she can be considered qualified to return to any kind of society.
A bad mark is to be entered cautiously.
The highest number of good marks on any one day under any one category is what?
She should return to any kind of society.
I attach to the marks the value of 3 pence per
Threepence per score.
It is a moral effort. Not a distinct and such
Any
saving.
one day under
A
any
lesson
one
in arithmetic.
category.
Truthfulness, full industry, temperance,
Industry, temper, propriety of conduct and conversation, temperance, order, punctuality, economy, cleanliness.
Woman should be truthful, and a woman should be calm.
She should fill a room with order. She should clean a room with charm.
A woman knows her Bible, every hymn and every psalm.
If she wants to be a servant,
A loyal, trusted servant,
she must learn the value of her ways and learn them in her youth. We must judge ourselves as others do, and focus on our truth, temper, propriety. Truth, propriety.
What's up with Julia?
What do you mean?
She's working like she's possessed. Like she's shut up on something. Can I get some?
Oi, just earn your own points. She's just committed to the work, that's all.
You don't think something else is wrong, do you?
Add on 4, I kept my temper.
Take off 3, because I swore.
-2, I lied at breakfast. Give me 1 for keeping score.
For propriety of conduct, not sure what that even means. For economy of grossness.
And for scrubbing the latrines. We must judge ourselves as others do, and focus on our true temper, propriety. True temper, propriety.
So, where you keeping it? All your extra food. Must be taking it from somewhere.
I'm not. Come on, you've been getting round since you've been here. Or have you been eating the leather?
No! I saw a man do that once by the docks. First, he boiled his shoes, then his belt, tried to catch himself a pigeon, but it got away.
Is that what you're doing? Have you eaten the canary?
Oh, have you eaten Hamlet?
Hey, Ceci, Rena, stop being so cruel.
But we're helping her. Otherwise, she'll lose marks for abstinence.
Yeah, eating's not really ladylike.
It's not her fault, is it? You can come out to the garden with me.
Thanks, Isabella.
I think you'll make a good maid in New South Wales. No hope of getting married, but still a good old maid.
All I wish is that Dickens hadn't made such unreasonable promises to them.
Marriage has always been an incentive for girls. Ever think of Austen?
Well, why not salvation? Redemption before God? Why does it always have to be about becoming somebody's wife?
You're one to talk.
Excuse me. What's this one's name again?
Sir Pinkerton.
Oh, a sir, is it?
Oh, I know how you just adore those. Oh, Miss Coutts.
Sir Pinkerton, lovely to meet you.
I was just admiring the gold damask in the room downstairs. You furnished this residence yourself?
It was my great-grandmother's.
Ah, of course. Very shiny. The gold damask looked very shiny. And gold. You live here all by yourself?
I have Hannah to keep me company.
I can see you are quite a modern woman. My mother always told me
You flatter me, Sir Pinkerton.
I should.
Care for some tarts? Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No need. No need.
Tarts.
Ah, yes. I mean, no. Thank you.
When I said you're one to talk of marriage, I wasn't actually talking about Sir Pinkerton.
Oh, don't tell me there's another one already. We agreed 1 proposal per day, maximum.
No, I was talking about the Duke of Wellington.
Oh, Hannah, the Duke is not like the others.
Exactly.
A woman should not be idle or be gluttonous or vain. If she finds her duty painful, she should focus, not complain. If she ever wants to marry, then her virtue should be plain. If she wants to have a husband, a loyal, lawful husband,
She must learn the value of her ways and use them in her youth.
truth, temper, propriety. Truth, temper, propriety. I will do this, temper, propriety.
I swear I'll do this. I can do it. Trying to learn from your head. It's for balance. The girls at finishing school do it.
Finishing
What's so funny?
Stop it!
Is something going on here, ladies?
Stop pretending you're a lady. Don't be someone who you're not. You're no better than the gutter. Is that something you forgot?
Hey, speak for yourself.
I'm only telling her the truth.
You really think you're better than everyone else?
Better than you at least.
Calm down now, ladies.
No. We don't have to listen to you. Number one, 'cause you're pathetic. 2, you're vile when you speak. 3, you think you're something special, but you'll never not be weak.
Butt-arsed whore!
Beard splitter!
What is going on here, Mr. Wilkins?
I think it was that lady that provoked...
She'd drag everyone down with her if she could.
Don't you dare!
No, please, Martha, stop it!
Finally, a bit of fun!
See what she just did?
Isabella, you come directly with me.
But it wasn't my fault.
I've seen enough.
Why did you have to try and help? Men! Hey, Julia, help with this, will you?
Julia?
You dare come to my doorstep looking like that? The blood is on your hands. It's all over your hands. Well then, what have you done? Get up! Julia, get up!
Julia, did you hear what I just said?
No. Am I being told off?
That depends. Are you going to tell us what happened?
Do you need a doctor?
I'm fine.
You've been working hard over the past few months. We've been very impressed, and so has Mr. Dickens.
He has.
Of course, when we've reported your progress to him. But if this house is damaging your
No,
health...
please, you can't send me out of here. I can't leave, please.
That settles that then.
We received a package from your sister.
What's wrong?
Everything's fine. We've checked it ourselves, just a precaution for anything going in and out. Maybe it will help you feel better.
She says she wove it herself, out of oakum fibres. Something to remind you of her. Quite thoughtful, actually.
Julia can read for herself.
Can I have a moment alone, please?
Of course.
Thinking of doing a runner? Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you.
I'm not. I wasn't always this jumpy, you know. I've had a lot on.
You're friends with the plucky one, aren't you?
There's a few of those.
The one that bloodied my nose? Back when she was copper clawing the mean one.
Martha. We share a room.
Martha. Are you close to her, like?
Depends. Which one am I?
The one who takes pity. What I mean is, I'm looking for a favour. I need someone to pass on a letter.
And Mrs. Moss and Mrs. Fisher read all the letters that come in and out.
That's why I need someone to get it past them. I promise I won't say anything wrong. I just need to talk to her. And I'm better with a pen than with my words, see?
Your writing uses words too.
You're what?
You want me to get something past the matrons. If I do that for you, will you do the same for me, but the other way round? Will you help me get something out?
If I want a different future, and I don't make a mistake, I'll obey their every word, and I'll work until I break. All these rules that can't be broken, till they ship us off to sea. But if I stay off the streets, then it's almost like I'm free.
Susan, could I have a word?
Why?
I'm afraid you'll have to get your things. Dr. Brown has informed me that you are, well,
I'm afraid that you are in the family way, Susan. Since your checkup this morning, Mrs. Mawson and I have been writing to Mr. Dickens, and I'm afraid that you are to be
Dismissed! Have you read Dickens' letter? Did you agree to this? He says the home cannot be a place for mothers and children and that she will be sent to another institution. What institution, Angela? Angela!
He said no.
Dickens, but he wrote right here.
The Duke of Wellington. I proposed to him and he said no.
Everything I lost could be found, so they said. Everything I lost, that's as if I'm not dead. I knew if I was caught, then I'd be sent away. But now that it's been done, I don't deserve to stay.
Mrs. Fisher's been looking
Stop
for you.
sneaking up on me! Why, what's happened?
She didn't say. She wants to speak to you.
What have you done, Julia? Did you hear why Susan disappeared? I heard she was up the spout. You're a bit scrawny, though.
girls, I have something very important to tell you. Julia, Martha, Rosina, you three have been selected by Mr. Dickens himself. You will be the first to leave this house.
When you say leave, do you mean...
You will have 3 months to complete your training and prepare for the journey, and then you will get on a boat to Adelaide, Australia. Well done. Your example to us all.
Everything we lost can be found, so they say. Everything we lost, so let me go today. It seems I would agree. It seems I play pretend. It seems I'm so naive. I believe this
She's drunk as a boiled owl.
No, not enough drool. Hey, princess. Trouble sleeping?
Only at night, usually.
Are you haunted, love? Well, you don't have to say, but do not let our keeper see you.
You didn't tell him, did you?
You really need to learn some tricks, or they will kick you off that boat.
I'll be fine.
Are you feeling the flood? Find it tough to sleep, love. No, it isn't cheap keeping your wits.
We know it's a fight, dear, every day and night here.
Too right.
Why not have a beer? But don't call it quits. Like my mother always taught, when your thoughts are in a heap.
Life may make you want to weep, but don't.
Close your eyes and think of England. That's what women have to do. Well, at least that's what Mother used to say. Take a breath, clench your teeth, ignore your demons, and with luck they'll go away.
Close your eyes and think of England, comforts of the upper class. Keep a stiff upper lip and don't complain.
work, earn your bread, forget your feelings. If you don't, you'll go insane.
Just imagine on that boat you can stand beneath the sails. You can taste the salty air, keep an eye out for the whales.
See the stars come out at night instead of squinting through the fog. You can piss into the sea instead of go into the bog.
That's disgusting.
It's a fantasy of mine. What of it?
See and think of England, such a cruel and rotten place.
Just imagine the shit you've left behind. No more cold, no more rain,
just scarlet fever. That God would be so kind. You'll be living on a farm, growing crops beneath the sun, with a farmer husbandman, shooting convicts with a gun. Pow!
that was sheep's as big as cows, dogs the size of sheep. There's these things called kangaroos,
Snakes that kill you in your sleep.
Wait, what was that? Yeah, seriously, what was that?
The kangaroo, of course.
Rather think of England, you'd be mad to hesitate. Don't you dare throw away your second chance. You impressed those in charge as you succeeded. Love, if we were you, we'd dance. When we're far away from England, close your eyes and think of us. And it won't be as bad as it might seem. Find a job, find a home, and find a husband. You can finally live the dream.
Martha hasn't written to you today, all right? We've been in laundry all morning. She hasn't had time.
That's okay. I can wait. But I need to give you this.
Are you afraid to start writing to another man?
This one's for you, from your sister.
I don't want it.
Thing is, Mrs. Georgina made me promise you'd read it. She's a scary lady, see? I suppose I could pretend
Will you
it
stay
got...
while I open it?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Julia, the trinkets you've passed on have gone some ways in helping our problems, but what's taking so long with the rest? I went to a hanging yesterday. A young woman with terrible tangled hair. She was in the gallows for murder. Awful business. Though the family next to me shared their jelly deals, I must have looked more starved than I thought. Anyhow, funny how strangers can be so kind. Meanwhile, family, well, I'm sure your next package is on its way.
Miss?
You can leave now.
Right.
What is this house? Was it always a prison? Could it tell from the start I belong in a cell? And here in this house I thought I could be different. So all of this time I was under a spell. And now that it's broken, there's a guilt I know well. Now I can't escape, so I'll wait till I'm sentenced to hell.
Thought I'd find you here. They've called a meeting in the living room.
And now, but it's time for a lesson.
Just come, they're not happy.
The piety, truth
I don't have to tell you that this is serious. Not just in terms of the code of this house, but in terms of the law. Now, is anyone going to admit to stealing from us?
Rosina?
Are you sure the things aren't lost?
How'd they be lost?
Well, maybe somebody wanted a clock because they wanted to practice time.
Rosina, did you do it? Tell me now.
No, of course. I just could understand why someone would want a clock. And the butter dish. Maybe they just like butter.
Any other ideas?
I'll write up a report to Mr. Dickens, but for now I'm asking each of you to help us. Anyone doing laundry must check each item thoroughly for anything hidden. No girl is permitted to make their own bed or mend their own clothes, and until we find the culprit, we cannot select anyone else to emigrate.
What? That's so unfair. How could you do that?
We didn't do it.
Hush, Isabella.
So they got a ship in 1 month, no questions asked.
What would we get out of stealing from here?
Exactly.
You're punishing the rest of us.
That's enough. We're enforcing our own measures so we don't have to call the police. Would you rather we do that now? Good. Now, are there any other questions?
My dear Miss Coutts.
I am greatly mortified to hear from Mrs. Mawson what has happened at Shepherd's Bush.
You've written back to Dickens, then?
What? Oh, yes, of course.
And?
And what?
What should we do?
Pay the bill, I suppose?
3 letters. That's 3 you've not even read.
I trust you are not indisposed, for if you were, I would have to drop my pen and write to you instantly.
The girls at the home need you far more than that old, dilapidated Duke of Wellington.
He wasn't old.
He was 77.
Age is just a number. He was the only man to ever see me for who I truly am rather than my means, and I told you not to insult him like that.
He turned you down. Nothing I say will insult him enough.
As it is, I'm at work on Dombey and Son and will not be due back in London for another month.
Being across the channel makes it rather hard for me to intervene myself.
He isn't half the woman you are. He's nowhere near as forward-thinking or generous. Please, let's do some good with the project you started.
I would recommend that you pay them a visit yourself.
In my state, I would hardly do anyone any good at all.
Angie.
I'm unwell. I cannot go.
I'm surprised they let us touch his stuff now. Of course, the chosen 3 get to walk around like they own the place. What if one of them did do it?
You think they did it?
Or maybe it was all part of Charles Dickens's game. My brother read Oliver Twist when it came out. Said he liked to write about poor people. It would be handy, wouldn't it? A bunch of us, locked up whenever he needs a bit of inspiration.
What are you staring at?
We're not.
You're not meant to group like this. You could be conspiring.
Oh, piss off, Jane.
Yeah, piss off and take your big words with you.
I'm telling Mrs. Fisher.
Wait. Don't you have any questions about how this place is run?
It's not our place to question it.
Don't give us that.
The thing is, some of us here are a bit better than others. How do you think they chose who's going on that boat?
We'll each get our chance.
But you work harder than anyone. Don't you think you deserve to go sooner? Remember, when Dickens questioned you before you arrived, he spoke to each of us alone. What if some gave him more than just answers? Went in a room, he said, sit down. He opened up his book. He smiled, his smile got out his pen. I never read the notes he took. What did I say? What did I say? He took my story line by line. What will he say? What will he say? Now is that story his or mine?
Some women make money from their beds. Not me. I was lucky. There's an age men start to look at you like you can do more than pickpockets. If my girls hadn't found me then, who knows? Each morning, we deck ourselves like ladies, then find a shop with ribbons on display. The owners left us alone because they're afraid of a bit of leg. So we'd fit what we could in our skirts and run. We used to make bets who knew make the biggest catch. My problem was, I wanted to win. I regret it all now. It was real sinful. But I guess I proved I couldn't make money from a bed. I just wish I checked the size of it before trying to fit it through the window. What did I say? What did I say? He took my story line by line.
What will he say? What will he say? Now are those stories his or mine?
Who needs a bed? Who needs shoes? I learned early. Nice things get you in trouble. Me mum, for starters, 14 months for nicking a dress. Nice things get you in trouble. In the summer, I'd go hop picking. Not a bad way to earn money. The rest of the year, needlework. Nice work. Trouble is, it's not enough money. I think that's why my dad left us on London Bridge. I just turned around and... In the workhouse, I picked oakum instead of hops. Big, thick rope. Cut off the tar, pick out the strands. It's not nice. It's not nice, but maybe that's why. Maybe me being here is for you to get us out of trouble.
What did I say? What did I say? He took our stories line by line.
I start off as work to an old lady.
I grew up by the sea. My family were fishermen.
One night, I stay out late. There's a man I'd met in Lyon, and he persuades me not to come home.
Then a man promises me Paris. How can I say no?
One thing led to the next. There's a gentleman at the station.
I pack for London because no one knows me there.
One night, he puts me in a cab.
I start work.
By then, I've been to the chemist.
I try to do better.
I drink essential oil of almonds. 2 shillings worth.
You can't take anyone for just a shilling.
The driver takes me to hospital, and I'm there a month.
After
that, the clink.
Just give me a chance.
Won't do it again.
That's all I ask. A chance.
What did I say? What did I say? He took our stories line by line. What would he do? What would he do to sell our stories? To sell our stories.
What are you doing, spreading rumours about me and my girls?
You mean how you stuck it to Dickens?
All 3 of ya.
Can't you see they're just jealous?
Oh, come off it, Martha. You're the one who's been larking about with Mr. Wilkins out in the garden.
You like to have your greens, don't ya?
Bit of bagpiping.
You know, most of us here, we're trying to get away from all that. But here you are, trying to tear us all apart.
You're the one going on that boat, so like it's you who's out for yourself.
I know you all came to this house to better yourselves. Are you going to stand there and let them poison it for you? I can't stand it when we cut each other down. There are far too many men who will stamp on us for free, and you'd never know a woman wears the crown. If a person makes you feel no good, ignore them. What they see, what they think, oh, that's only in their heads. What you think, they think is only in your heads as well. And there's more to who you are than what they think that they can tell. When you doubt yourself, it's only in your head. Other men plant the seeds, tiny seeds inside your head. Seeds that tell you what to say and think and feel and do. Then they leave them there to rot till you believe the lies are true. Oh, the lies that sprouted out inside your head. All we have, all we know is what happens in our heads. And that means there's no escaping and nowhere to hide. But that also means we win, because it means that we decide if we free ourselves from what's inside our head. And so maybe
That's the truth which could finally set us free if we free ourselves from doubt so other people see we won't be who we don't want to be. In fantasy or history, or caught in some strange mystery, or caught inside our thoughts, 'cause we don't care about the thoughts inside our head. All that matters is the strength inside my head. So you have to free yourself inside your head.
How have you stabbed yourself? You're the one who's good at needlework.
Do you think she might be right? Isabella?
Never.
Right about what? Dickens. Using us for his stories. If I'd have known, I'd have told him better stories about Bullseye.
I bet you told him plenty. I bet you 1,000,000 to a bit of dirt. What else is it?
The missus still doesn't know who stole all that stuff.
What do you mean?
None of the others know who did it either.
Rosina, do you know who it was? We can't keep
Laurie,
secrets.
it's just...
I think I left my notebook downstairs.
Rosina, if you know who it was and you're not saying, then that's just as bad as
What
doing
if I
it.
did it?
What do you mean, what if?
Well, sometimes I do things and I don't even know it. This morning I was doing the washing and I spent a whole 10 minutes looking for the last of the dresses, thinking I'd lost them, when I'd actually already rinsed them and just forgot I'd done it.
Hang on. You're worried that you stole that clock and that butter dish, hid them from everyone, including the matrons, snuck them out of the house, even though you're being watched every hour of the day. And you still think you've done it?
Yes! It's not funny. If they threw me out, I couldn't handle it. See, my hands have gone all soft without their blisters. I look forward to my bath every Saturday at 8, and I've started reading Wordsworth because I think his rhymes are great. And I've started growing daisies in the garden. Now I'm not fit for my old life anymore. I can't bear the thought of violence, and I'm scared of being poor. No, I can't face people saying I'm a whore. I've got no place in the life I lived before. See, I sort of think of you lot like my sisters, 'cause you've changed the way I think, even more than I'll admit. And I thank God every morning for not making my life shit. In my prayers each night I ask him for his pardon.
For starters, you should know you're not alone. I'm here, you've got me.
And with Julia too, that makes us 3.
We'll be all right, you'll see.
Though our future looks remote, the 3 of us will be in the same boat. Is the other stuff they're saying true about you and Mr. Wilkins?
Depends what they've said. Probably not, but I have been writing letters.
Letters?
Nothing fancy. Julia sent me the first one from him, and I've been writing back ever since. He's a decent man, if you can believe it.
No.
Now I'm not fit for my old life anymore. So I'm trying to do better, but I'm not sure what's in store.
We'll pack for our new lives off the shore. I can't go back
to the life I've lived before.
But I didn't do it! Started a party against Julia, Martha, and Rosina. Who said that?
It's true, Bella.
You sneaking, snitching liar! She set me up. I might have said a thing or two about the others, but I didn't steal anything. Does anyone here know any better? Go to your room. But all of you, it's time for bed. Call Mr. Wilkins and get him to keep watch. It'll be up to Mr. Dickens and Miss Coutts to decide what we do before we call the police. You can't! Now! Did you hear what she just said? Are you going to stand for this? Well, are you? They bring us here, they bring us here, they promise change, they bring us here. They tell us, try to tell us, try to promise us a world. But they're all the same, they're all the same. These people with their purses, all those people with their game. They promise change, but nothing changes.
We're just here so they feel better. We're just here so they don't good. Just so long as we stay grateful, just as long as we stay nice. Do the things they want, the things they ask, the things they think it's understood, it's understood, it's understood. We're going nowhere, just stuck in here, but going nowhere.
I won't be treated like a prisoner anymore. Who's with me? Come on then.
Prison out there, prison in here, prison cells each way you turn. They bring us here, they bring us here, they promise change and bring us here, they bring us say what we'll say, tell our stories line by line. What was it for? What was it for? Now are the stories his
Girls, please stop it. What are you doing?
Both around to see me on the streets and knows if we
Close your eyes and think of England.
are going nowhere. Who cares if we are going nowhere?
Ladies, please!
I'm sorry, I can't do anything here.
Julia, what should we do?
Stay out of it! All this because of stealing those things. Did you think you was Isabella? Who is it at this hour?
It's Mrs. Mawson from Shepherd's Bush.
What is it?
Forgive me, sorry to
What has
disturb you,
happened at the home? Are the girls all right?
It's Isabella Gordon. She wrote the other girls. Forgive me, I would have waited till morning to tell you. Only Mr. Dickens is out of the country, and I think we need to call the committee.
I see.
Please, I've written to Mr. Dickens and he'll instruct us on the best way to proceed. But we need someone to lead the committee meeting in person. Someone has to pass judgment on what to do. What to do, I mean, with Isabella. I know you have been unwell, and that the girls do not yet know you, but...
Yes, Angela?
Yes, I'll do it.
My dear Miss Coutts.
Mrs. Mawson has informed me of the unfortunate situation with Isabella Gordon.
And I understand it is up to you to lead the committee and to decide what you must do.
We heard that Isabella Gordon was endeavouring to make a party in the house.
A party in the house against Mrs. Mawson. Disturbing the general peace again.
Always in the habit of talking in a disorderly
She
manner.
intended to come to us with
I
complaints.
can hardly imagine how anyone can be so wantonly and ungratefully
The
wicked.
general peace.
Disturbing the general peace.
I can hardly imagine how anyone could be so wantonly and ungratefully wicked.
The authority of the place
Must be upheld.
Please don't hesitate to ask if you need anything.
Oh, this is charming.
You've seen the plans for the house, so I'm sure it's all familiar.
I have written down instructions so you are to know how to proceed.
Mr. Chesterton and Mr. Tracy are committee members for the house.
And they are here to help you with any matters of your concern.
Mr. Tracy and Mr. Chesterton, how lovely to see you again.
And you here too. Finally. I trust Mr. Dickens wrote to you with a letter and the guidelines of what should be done.
She doesn't look like much, does she? Angela Burdett-Coutts.
What do you mean?
Can't you see that rash on her neck?
I heard she had tea with the Queen. Say too.
The papers.
When she gives money, she goes by Lady Unknown.
Who want to be unknown for having money?
The committee will speak to you each in turn. This is no longer about the theft. It's about who will stay and who will go.
The only point I should be particularly careful about if
You
I were
asked
the
the
committee.
particularly careful about.
Ascertain beyond a question. That the charge against Isabella Gordon is undoubted matter of fact.
You must be particularly
Is it
careful.
undoubted
Or does originate perhaps in a league against her?
Miss Coutts?
We are here to ascertain, beyond all possible question, whether the charge against Isabella Gordon is an undoubted matter of fact. We must be certain that the charge held against her does not originate in... We must be certain that the...
Miss Coutts?
I'm all right, thank you.
Miss Coutts?
Let her talk.
Ladies, how have you really found it here?
It's different inside here. It's warm and it's dry.
Never had any schooling.
Used to wish I would die.
Each day repeating,
but I rarely cry.
In here I have nothing to fear.
It's so much better in here.
In here.
Better is good, but are you happy? Happy?
I've not been hungry.
But have you been happy?
In here we're respected. We're told we can grow. Might not have total freedom, but I don't want to go.
I would get lost in London. Here I know where I stand.
I can try to be good here, and I know that my future is in my hands.
We're very grateful, thank you.
I thank you, Miss Coutts.
Thank you. I'm not asking for your thanks. I would like to know, I want to know, if we are doing the very best we can to help you.
Well, I don't like to complain.
But since you're asking, I sometimes feel like I'm punished.
Punished? What kind of punishment?
Feel like I'm marked in my sleep.
The mark scheme isn't about punishment, it's about improvement.
It's only when you send us to see.
To a better life, a new world.
What's proof is there will go there.
Who told you that we won't let you emigrate?
How do we know you'll send us to the right place?
Who told you that you might not emigrate?
We're just wondering is all. All we have is your words and Mr. Dickens.
It's different, feel like I'm punished. War marks in my sleeve. Never had any schooling to send us to see. I would die. It's there, we'll get there. But I rarely cry. It's here, I have nothing to fear. I sleep. It's only when you send us to see. In here, it's there, we'll get there.
I know you wanted to give us all a chance and to make a place that was good and could change us. But every second it's like we're being watched. We're not allowed to feel anything or think it. We're told what to say and how to act. And there are favourites here. Some girls who get away with anything. Meanwhile, the rest of us... Look, I'm not saying what you're doing isn't right. I'm just saying the people in charge of running this place need to change.
Thank you, Isabella.
Over to you, Miss Coutts. Give us the verdict.
I need to think.
Clearly, she's been inciting resentments amongst the other girls, spreading rumors, encouraging discontent. This isn't just about the theft, but about the future of this project.
I wouldn't quite say that.
Without meaning any disrespect, Miss Coutts, you haven't been here. We have to think about the other girls, their hopes, their prospects. How can we endeavor to improve their lives if their very belief in what we're doing is crumbling?
Or maybe we need to listen to what she's saying.
Hannah,
No, you founded the home so that you could give these girls a chance, so that they might feel independent and choose a life for themselves. And now, one of these girls is trying to be honest about the difficulties here, and you're going to punish her for it. What happened to educating them and encouraging free thinking?
I hardly think complaining counts as free thinking.
How are we going to make this project work if we don't listen to the girls? You knew from the beginning this wouldn't be easy. You are trying something entirely new, something entirely at odds with what everyone else in society is doing. And this first group of girls were the ones who took a chance and believed in what we could do.
But think about the other girls whose lives could still be changed. Think about what Dickens himself said in his letter.
It is true, she has no friend in the world.
No place you go.
No chance before her but a jail.
In this bitter
chance
weather.
before
No
her but a
friends
jail.
in the world.
Misery,
Disgrace, misery, despair.
Death.
And yet,
And yet,
occupies a place which a grateful girl would be glad and happy to fill.
Out of hundreds I could take out of the streets at this
who would try
moment.
hard to do well if you could get into the home.
The miserable girl in the
the
streets.
miserable girl in the streets.
It is clear I must now consider not only the events of recent weeks, but the very future of this home. And I cannot risk everything for the sake of one girl. I'm sorry, but we are going to have to let you go. This home is not right for you.
No! You can't send her away.
Cecina, come with me.
Didn't you hear what you said? This is a setup.
Speak like that again and you will be dismissed as well.
You really mean it?
I'm sorry.
Here is the address of a charity who may take you in for a few months, if you're willing to work. Have you any clothes of your own?
Only what I'm wearing. It's dark outside.
You can't send her out now.
Hush.
You will know that I've been trying, 'cause I know I've got to change. That's the way we can survive, though I kind of think it's strange. Through the crack, down we fall, going nowhere, where we can't go back.
If I want a different future, there's a life we have to choose. There are things we have to lose. To stay off the streets, there's a price we all pay. Otherwise we slip through the cracks.
Down we fall, going nowhere, where we can't go back.
Back with us then. Nothing much changes, does it?
Didn't want to say goodbye.
I'm not feeling well.
Everyone's in buckets over this. I didn't expect you to be, though.
She shouldn't have left.
She shouldn't have been let in. Too soon.
It should have been me.
This self-pitying act doesn't suit you.
I said it should have been me!
Julia, wait.
You need to hand me into the police. I'm the one who stole those things. I know I shouldn't have done it, but I picked out what was small and got them snuck out the house to my sister. Well, go on, turn me in.
You were the first girl to volunteer. The first one to say yes to this project. We had so much faith in you, and I don't know what to say.
I deserve to be locked away, transported. I should have left the moment my sister came to see me, but she said if I didn't steal for her, her children would starve.
You mean your sister made you do it?
She said if I didn't help her, she'd report me. She'd have me hanged.
I see.
I know I shouldn't have taken those things, but I was scared. I didn't know what else to do.
Julia, do you know who those things belonged to?
Mrs. Molson and Mrs. Fisher and Charles Dickens.
Julia, everything in that home belongs to me. And that means that it is up to me to decide what to do about it. And I forgive you.
But Mrs. Molson said...
I will speak with her.
I've tried so hard to change, to make up for who I am.
Julia, there is nothing wrong with who you are. Do you understand me? Some people speak of two destinations. One racked with grief and pain, one lit with love and light. Some say you earn your place by doing what they say is right, when they have no right to give you expectations. Some try to sell the road to redemption, as if the road they take is one that's bought or sold. Some think that heaven's glow can be reflected in their gold. They forget their wealth is simply man's invention. There are two ways to Australia, but the journey that you take is up to you. I believe that people change. I believe they have a chance. I believe that we can choose to start anew. Some say we should be judged by our actions, as if we are the sum of what we've said or done. I think if that were true, then we would all be on the run, and our past would be a shadow of distractions. I think the way we live is doomed to failure, as long as we're obsessed by details of our birth, by family and by looks, and counting up what we are worth. But it's possible, it's better in Australia, so I could stand here and play God. I could tell you you're in debt. I could lecture you on mistakes. I could make sure you won't forget. But can you tell me what good that would do, when you know I know you've tried, and your time's not over yet, and I'd rather you decide. There are two ways to Australia, but the life you choose to make is up to you. I believe that you can change. I believe you have a chance. So I'm asking, do you want to start anew?
I'm all packed for tomorrow, I think. One time I brought my dad some soup for lunch, but I forgot the soup. What if I've done something like that?
Did you use the list Mrs. Fisher gave us?
2 dresses.
Yeah.
6 shifts.
Yeah.
2 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
Soup.
Yeah. No. Oh, no.
Leave it. You're going to be fine.
Jane says our passage costs £20 each.
All right. It's 10 o'clock. Let me enjoy my bed for the last time.
It's not the last time.
You'll still snore.
I'm tired.
Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Are you scared?
What makes you say that?
You keep acting like you're seeing things. You do that a lot, actually, but are you? Are you imagining things from before?
I'm not allowed to tell you that.
Do you think they'll follow you on the ship?
When did you get so smart?
I think maybe you can't stop them following you. But it will still help if you tell someone.
You don't want to hear it.
What if we're asleep? I mean, we could be, if we're quiet. You wouldn't know.
I guess not.
Actually, I think Martha's asleep already. And I could be too. If you blow out the candle.
Leave behind the things you've done. If you go, will they be left behind? Can you see the lies and the dirt and the mess and the red and the wet on your hands, on your head, till you're dead, till you're dead, till you're dead, till you're dead?
I was there 14 months, but it felt like 10 years. The man of that house used to wait in the attic. At first he was kind, he would wipe back my tears.
Come closer, my dear, close your eyes, calm your fear. One rule in this house, make no sound. Make sure that no one else hears.
Behind the things, see us in the dust. See us on the street.
I saved you from the streets, from the whores who live with the rats and live with fleas and sleep on deathbeds of disease.
We can keep you from the streets if you find a way to thank us. On the street you'll earn some pity if you beg.
Please be so kind. Don't be so blind. Please be so kind. See us, please. All of this time, I've been locked in a prison. I've been blaming myself for what can't be undone. I thought what I did could not be forgiven. So all of this time, I've been on the run. Though the road to redemption might never be won, we'll each find a way till one day we'll see some things begun.
The carriage will be here in 10 minutes. Do you have everything you need?
Please don't make me count my things again.
Please don't. I'll accompany you to Gravesend and then, oh goodness, you've arrived in the nick of time. We'll give you some space to say goodbye.
I half expected them to say you'd run away. Don't tell me you didn't read my letters.
I read every single one of them, and it's over.
You'd leave us to starve. You'd leave my husband to die.
Were you scared?
What did you say?
Of being on the streets, of not being able to eat. Is that why he made me beg for you?
Someone would have turned you in. Had you hanged, I helped you survive.
The thing is, there's been something I've been wondering just recently. It was you who told me he died, and I just assumed you were right. But where did you hear that? Was it something you knew, or something you just wanted me to believe? I know you think I don't understand what you did. What if I forgive you?
Who put you up to this?
If I do that, will you forgive me? Then I'm going to A. Today. It's my choice.
Julia.
I can't help you anymore. Goodbye, sister.
I've got a confession to make.
You too?
I'm not coming with you on that boat.
What do you mean?
I've got a new job in a house just out of London.
But you...
They want someone who can cook, bake, clean. Mr. Wilkins found it for me.
Mr. Wilkins!
I know what you're going to say about new starts and all that, but he knows who I was and he doesn't care. I want to stay and I want to be near to him. Take care of each other, all right?
I think we'll have to. Come on. We've got a long way to go.
My dear Mr. Dickens.
My dear
My
Mr.
dear
Dickens.
Mr.
My dear
Dickens.
Mr. Dickens.
Now that the first selection of girls have completed their time with us, I can only wonder what lies ahead.
See them on their way.
It may be that their names are forgotten, but I have no doubt that their stories will inspire.
Their stories will
That their stories will inspire
some of your greatest novels.
See them going free.
So many ladies unknown, all of us. Is that how it will be? And what about the other girls we cannot take into the home?
See them moving on to sail the sea.
It is one thing
to inspire someone else's story.
and another to choose your own.
What about the other women? See them on their way. Some get to go free. Some get to move on. Some sail the sea. Will there ever be a moment when it's up to us to choose? When we each can have a chance without some will always lose.